guys, Instagram पे जितना brain rot देख के मेरा दिमाग हो चुका है ना, I think this is educational therapy to watch these videos. So I'm actually very happy someone requested this. Thank you so much. Let's go and check out UPSC result 2024. Congratulations to Wardah Khan. पूरा roll number, show number भी लिखा हुआ है. Okay, let's go.
He has given foreign services number 1. IAS is number 2.
Please come in.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
I still don't agree with the may I come in thing. It's just okay, whatever.
आइए बेटा बैठिए.
No one cares, Farooq.
रखिए.
No one cares about you. Shut up. Shut the F up.
आप KPMG में काम कर रही हैं.
Sir, I have worked 8 months at KPMG.
छोड़ दिया अभी?
Yes, sir, in 2021 only.
अभी क्या कर रही हैं?
Sir, I've been preparing for the exam since then.
एक बार इम्तिहान दे चुकी हैं.
So this is my second attempt.
Okay.
Yeah.
तो एम्बेसडर मंजू सेठ वरिष्ठ अधिकारी हैं भारतीय विदेश सेवा के.
Yes, sir.
मेरा नाम दीपक वोरा है. मैं 1973 का मॉडल हूँ, जब आपके फादर साहब का भी जन्म नहीं हुआ था, वो भी भारतीय विदेश सेवा. आप सीनियर पुलिस ऑफिसर हैं, IAS में हैं, और हमारे वरिष्ठ.
Love, you gotta love the Gen Z. Like Gen Z's like, okay. Do you see that expression? Beautiful.
साहब का भी जन्म नहीं
बिल्कुल
हुआ
like
था, वो भी भारतीय विदेश सेवा. आप सीनियर पुलिस ऑफिसर हैं, IAS में हैं, और हमारे वरिष्ठ सहयोगी हमारे साथ यहाँ मौजूद हैं. आपने टॉप प्रायोरिटी भारतीय विदेश सेवा को दिया है.
Yes. Sir.
क्यों?
So I believe that earlier my interest, like which can be evidenced by my extracurricular activities, like I had been actively participating in MUNs, and my general interest in the geopolitical issue had exhorted me to give first preference to this service. This is what I believe, sir.
और जो आपने कहा कि आप ये सिमुलेटेड यूनाइटेड नेशंस में पार्टिसिपेट करती हैं.
Yes, sir.
संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघ किसी काम की संस्था है?
Definitely, sir.
क्या काम करती है?
Sir, there are multiple functions that IFS is responsible for.
नहीं, मैं
So,
UN की बात कर रहा हूँ.
Sir, UN, okay. Sir, UN was formed in the aftermath.
this is very robotic so far, guys. She's literally just like, it's like input, process, output. That's what's happening right now. Oh my god, I just
Of the
That
two.
we all know.
Yes, sir.
क्या करती है?
So basically, it serves as a common organization that
अच्छा.
that is
अभी
there for
यूक्रेन
mutual
में-
peace.
यूक्रेन में जंग चल रहा है.
Yes, sir.
UN ने कुछ किया है?
Yes, sir. Numerous resolutions have been passed in the
रेजोल्यूशन किसी
General
ने परवाह
Assembly.
की है उसकी?
So because they are not enforceable, but then.
Uncle is full
Yes, sir.
casual.
गाजा में जंग चल रहा है.
Yes, sir.
UN ने क्या किया है?
Sir, I recalled one thing that the UN had done with respect to Ukraine conflict. Can I just?
Please.
Yes, sir. So a grain deal had been brokered by the UN
It was not. It
Secretary.
was brokered by Turkey. Get your facts right.
Yes, sir.
It fell through. Right? It's broken.
Yes, sir.
UN ने क्या किया है अभी तक? अब मैं आपको बताता हूँ. पॉल विल्सन की किताब पढ़िए, द टूम्ब.
Yes, sir.
कि अगर UN में जितने डिप्लोमेट्स बैठे हैं वो सब घर चले जाएं और उसको नाइट क्लब में बना दिया जाए, तो इट विल सर्व मैनकाइंड मच बेटर देन इट इज डूइंग नाउ.
Damn.
सुन रही हैं?
Yes, sir.
सो मैं समझता हूँ आप क्या कर रही हैं, लेकिन उसका ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड 0. भाषण देते हैं, समझ रही हैं?
Yes, sir.
रेजोल्यूशंस पास करते हैं,
Yeah.
वार्निंग्स करते हैं, होता कुछ नहीं है. चाय कॉफी मैंने वो तो विस्की पीते हैं बाद में. और उनके जो सेक्रेटरी जनरल
Generally, yes, sir.
अभी हाल ही में CNN की
ये
इंटरव्यू
क्या UN shit talking session है? क्या चल रहा है यहाँ पे?
नहीं है, मेरे पास फौज नहीं है, मेरे पास
They're talking too much.
मेरी आवाज है जिसको
The interviewers are not supposed to be talking for this long for that much. It's not their interview. It's a little odd. But again, this is a mock interview, so anything goes.
उठाऊंगा.
Honestly speaking.
सेक्रेटरी जनरल एक भारतीय पॉलिटिशियन बनेगा जिनकी बहुत ऊंची आवाज होती है. A loud voice is the only requirement according to him to be Secretary General of the UN. Okay, बेटा? अच्छा, अब विदेश सेवा.
Okay, बेटा, तोड़ दी मैंने आपका बबल.
विदेश सेवा.
Yes, sir. So.
What villain behavior is this, bro? आमिर लियाकत मच.
विदेश सेवा का बताइए. Why विदेश सेवा?
कैसे दिया आपको? है? नहीं दिया अच्छा. है बड़ा.
विदेश सेवा का बताइए. Why विदेश सेवा?
Yes, ISS has a lot of functions that it performs for the interest of Indians, not just within India, but also abroad with respect to the diaspora. India is leading in terms of the diaspora that is residing in different countries. So to protect their interest
कितना size है हमारे diaspora का?
Sir, it's approximately 3 crores 22 lakhs as per MEA. And so also to secure
It's
the
just very
interest
robotic,
of
man. You have
Indians.
to just remember like facts and figures and statistics. And I'm not talking down on it. That's actually maybe a strong shoot. I'm really good at it. If I like take interest in history and all that, I can learn it. Sure. I'm not good at other things, science or math. Yeah, it's like if you're one of those rare kids, जिनका brain जो है वो एक supercomputer जैसा है, that they can force their brain to learn a lot of everything, not just little bit of everything, a lot of everything. Then you can be successful at this job.
While negotiating agreements and treaties in international forums like UN, WTO, and other multilateral institutions. So this is what I believe it does.
Using the Indian Foreign Service is effective?
Definitely, sir.
Give me an example of what we have achieved.
Okay.
One area in which we were successful.
Okay. So I think soft power diplomacy is something that we are currently being better at, which is evidenced by in 2023 being recognized as the International Year of Millets. So our dietary habits, which are also in line with sustainability, have been promoted mainly due to the diplomatic efforts. So besides this, the peacekeeping operations that India has sent to UN that have also facilitated resolution of conflicts and taking situation under control and hostilities.
Which conflict resolution came through UN peacekeeping efforts?
Yes, sir. The last that I know of is in the Abyei region of South Sudan.
I served as your ambassador there.
Yes, sir.
That conflict is continuing.
Yes, sir.
Oh my.
UN peacekeepers ran away.
So, but right now also an Indian contingent is available.
That I know,
there.
that's in South Sudan. They have nothing to do with Abyei. What
Uncle
happened? The war
is
continued.
too current.
Peacekeepers are there. So what have
I mean,
you?
that's what the interview is about. यहाँ पे मैं uncle को दोष नहीं दे रहा हूँ. He's actually very good at his job, and you have to be aware of current affairs. You can't be working off of old information. So he's really good questions and really good knowledge bank uncle के पास भाई. Deepak.
Sir, of course, they cannot meddle with the internal affairs that are responsible.
What do they do?
So they try to alleviate the casualties that are resulting from such hostilities. They also try to protect the interest of Indians that might be residing there.
जरूर आइए भारतीय विदेश सेवा में. You will be terribly disappointed in your dreams about what can be achieved by UN peacekeepers. Let me assure you.
Okay, stop, man. What's wrong
I
with
served
you?
38 years.
Where's the optimism, man? Jesus.
And I still deal with the UN. But you have the right approach. I compliment you.
Thank you, sir.
आपने तो withdraw कर लिया. Sir, over to you.
UN reforms.
Yes, sir.
A lot of talk about UN reforms. What is your take on this?
Yes, sir. So I do believe that UN as a body needs to be reformed, particularly the UN Security Council, where we see that an overwhelming viewpoint of the developed world is being put forward, and they misuse their veto powers to prevent important resolutions from being passed. So first of all this, and the emerging geopolitical realities where the developing countries are also increasingly contributing to the world economy. They are in terms of their footprint in the geopolitics. So there should be expansion of the permanent membership, and developing countries like India, Africa, they should be accorded a voice in the Security Council.
How does the size of the Security Council expand?
So I'm not particularly
He's
sure
taking
about
over.
this. I'll read about this, sir.
There are demands that at least 4 countries should be included among the P5 so that it becomes P9.
Oh, okay.
Which are these 4 countries?
Russia?
So can
Or
I
is it
take
already
a
in there?
guess? I read it
Sure.
a while ago. So India is there, I believe. So Germany is also
Germany is
one.
not part of it?
So Japan is there, and one voice from South Africa. So
Not South Africa, from Latin America.
okay, so Latin
We're
America.
at the moment talking of Brazil, but we don't
Brazil,
know.
right?
Okay, so
With or without veto power?
So I
with?
think the veto power can be done away with, because if there are two countries that are at odds with each other, then it becomes very difficult to pass important resolutions. So there needs to be a reform with respect to the veto power as well.
On the whole, the veto power should be done away with.
Yes,
It
sir,
makes sense.
Or the
can
UN should be done away with.
No, sir, I don't necessarily believe this.
लीग ऑफ नेशंस का सुना था आपने?
Yes, sir.
खत्म हो गई जब पहले विश्व युद्ध के बाद बना था, दूसरे विश्व युद्ध में खत्म हो गया,
Yes, sir.
फिर संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघ आया, अब तीसरा विश्व युद्ध होगा तो ये अपने आप खत्म हो जाएगा.
So it is too far-fetched to predict that a third world war can happen
You don't think
right
it's
now.
happening?
No, sir. We cannot extrapolate the localized conflicts to believe that this will happen.
Very good.
Yeah.
Smart.
He's so
next
good, man.
question-
He's so good. Like, he's shocking
We
me
have
here.
problems with
उस लड़की के भी like props to Wardah Khan, because she's like handling it like a champ, because he is very intimidating and he's got a personality, you know, about him. He's got an air about him, and he's very knowledgeable, of course. Like, he knows his faculties are very pristine condition में जिसे कहते हैं.
Yes, sir.
What is the major problem with India's major problem with China?
You can see the contrast
So the
on the
major
panel.
problem is our unresolved border agreement with China, that is leading to aggression at the LAC, and which has also led to flare-ups in 2017 when it happened at the Doklam, and in 2020 when it happened in near the Pangong. So the undemarcated border has to be first settled. So second,
2020 was not exactly near the place. Pangong Tso was also one of the theatres,
Yes,
but the
sir.
main battle was fought somewhere else.
so the Gogra Heights was there.
Galwan.
Valley. Sorry, sir.
मैंने hint दे दिया.
Okay, so
Galwan.
we have problems at how many places along the Indo-Chinese border?
So
A
there
lot,
are
I'm guessing.
3 sectors basically. So the northern one is the Ladakh region we have. So
हाँ,
the
चलती है
middle
tensions होती
sector
है
is in Himachal Pradesh, and the eastern one at Arunachal Pradesh. So much so that they claim that almost an entirety of Arunachal
What about
Pradesh
Manipur? वहाँ पे क्या हो
belongs
रहा है?
to
वो भी तो
them.
northeast
So
में है.
that is a major
They
issue.
call it South Tibet.
Yes, sir.
And now,
Wait,
So
what?
that is a myth, that they claim that almost an entirety of Arunachal Pradesh belongs to them. So that is a major
they
issue.
call it South Tibet.
Yes, sir.
And now, I believe China started claiming that the whole of Ladakh is part of China.
Ooh.
So I have not read.
Have you heard of
about
the
this.
9 dash line? चाइना जो कहता है
Yes,
कि
sir.
हमारी इसके
Yes, sir.
अंदर है,
Yes,
तो अभी वो 99 डैश बना रहा है उसको. वो चंद्रमा तक जाएगी, मार्स तक जाएगी, प्लूटो तक जाएगी, बोलेगी ये सब हमारा है.
So with
समझ गई?
respect to poll also, it calls
कितने
it
देश
yes.
लड़े थे फर्स्ट विश्व युद्ध में?
So in the first
30. दूसरे विश्व युद्ध में कितने थे? 50. आज कितने देश किसी न किसी जंग में इन्वॉल्व हैं? 72. तीसरा विश्व युद्ध हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा?
So I don't necessarily think so. So major powers are still not.
Put him in a movie,
The
man.
past is still not what?
Still not directly at loggerheads, and like those who
रूस
have a
क्या कर
say
रहा है,
in geopolitics.
यूक्रेन में चाय पी रहा है उनके साथ.
So not all the major powers. I would
अमेरिका
say.
क्या कर रहा है हुतीज के साथ रेड सी में?
So,
Yemen में.
so these are proxy wars. It is trying to fight to secure its
I
interests.
just told you how many countries are.
It becomes real war when draft starts, right? When America says draft is in place, now everybody has to serve. That's when it becomes a world war, basically. Or when, like even in Russia right now, there's no draft. I don't think so. So you can still be a civilian and not be in a war. जब तक ये वाला level नहीं आता ना countries का, at least 4 या 5 बड़े countries या even 2 बड़े countries, top 10 में से अगर 2 countries ऐसा कर लेते हैं एक दूसरे के against, then trouble has begun.
Today at war, either internally or with others.
Yes, sir.
You don't think it is more than First and Second World War combined? Shouldn't we call this the Third World War?
No, not yet, at least.
Coming back to our neighborhood,
Yes, sir.
what is happening in Bangladesh?
But she should have answered there. I think she had an answer. She could have been like, no, it's still not World War III because the scale of things have also been, inflated a lot. Back then, resources were this much, or scale itna bada hota tha cheezon ka, and then that's why there were few countries. There are more countries. There's more room for tolerance of war. Just by basic numbers. So, I mean, she could have come up with some reply, but she was like, I think it was her way of saying, "Uncle, bas जाने देना अभी आप आगे बढ़े ना यार इससे. आप क्या चाहते हैं मैं लड़ूं आपसे."
So,
What important development is going to take place in Bangladesh in the next 10-15 days?
Election?
So Bangladesh is gearing up for its next elections in the first week of January, and there have been new labor unrest going on in Bangladesh. So,
Labor unrest.
yes, sir, and also the opposition has been severely muzzled by the ruling regime. So that is also up in arms and is saying that
8
they will
months ago,
boycott
yeah.
the next elections because the opposition is
8
not
months में
being
क्या-क्या हो
allowed
गया?
to freely campaign or bring out its.
How will it impact India?
So it will impact
This is
India because
interesting.
the current dispensation is sharing a friendly relationship with India. There have been numerous development projects in association with them, and we are not particularly sure whether if the opposition, if it comes to power, would share such a camaraderie with India. So India needs to
Which it doesn't.
develop a peaceful
we see now.
relationship
What is
with
the
all.
name of the opposition?
So
Some
it is led
Jamaat
by
something?
Begum Khalda Zia. I do not particularly
The
remember.
track records of Begum Khalida Zia vis-a-vis India is not good.
Yes, sir.
Not like the current or the ex-Prime Minister now. Hasina ji.
So, continuing with that
Hasina.
question,
Yes, sir.
if Khalida Zia's party, the BNP, comes into power, what do you expect? How do you think? Because China is very active, as you know, in Bangladesh.
So,
Is it?
How do you think,
Production
which
ke liye?
way will our relationship go? India-Bangladesh relationship?
ma'am, I believe that India
could
can.
go, rather.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, I believe that India can use a two-pronged approach to continue forging a strong relationship with Bangladesh. Ma'am, first would be our cultural ties. Our history is bound together. India had been responsible for the creation of the state itself.
Yeah.
Responsible?
Directly.
Ma'am, I would say that it
Mukti
facilitated.
Bahini, जैसे मुक्ति बाहिनी ने किया है. With India's help, of course. with
Yes,
the-
ma'am. And ma'am, besides
I
culture.
mean, this is a fact. Pakistani army would have never let it happen if India didn't, send its air force and all the soldiers. So yeah, responsible is a fair enough word, I think.
Besides our developmental projects that have been signed in association with Bangladesh
Why
can
is he
be
talking while
capitalized
she's
upon
talking? That's
to
not
continue a
nice.
peaceful
The
relationship.
BNP says no. The BNP's history, they changed the history books when the BNP and was in power. I mean, the husband, when he was in, General Zia was in power, when he was the president, they changed the history books to say that Pakistan was helpful in liberating
Ma'am, I think
Bangladesh. So it was a very
I'd never read
change.
that. That
and
is-
India was the aggressor. India se bachaya. So it's a very complex situation, not so simple. Whatever we do, they have their own perception. So Bangladesh is not going to, if the opposition comes in power, they are not going to very.
She's right about that. Every country has their own version of the story and they will push that. So I don't think I remember reading this in my school days. Maybe it was because मेरा school थोड़ा बेहतर था. मेरा school government school नहीं था. We had proper education in my school. That's the advantage of putting your kids in a convent school. They will, of course, convent school में उनको नजर आएंगे Christianity और Catholicism के तरीके और तौर और उनके point of view से. But it's probably more objective than going to a government school, I feel like. Because आप US में देखें जो government schools हैं, they're full of propaganda. Just horrible, घटिया, गंदी education just to make sure everything's dumbed down. No one really understands much. बस 2-3 चीजें हैं जो उनको पता होनी चाहिए.
Be friendly towards India. Because they have
will
got.
not be friendly towards India.
BNP,
They will not be friendly.
BNP will not be. No, she said we can do this to make them. I said not easy to do that. So they are very they want to have no ties with India if possible. So,
yes, ma'am, I agree there are issues, but also the geopolitical realities now are different. Pakistan itself is now going through a political instability,
China.
economic turmoil.
What will it do? क्या
Pakistan
करेगा?
may not do. China is very strong.
पाकिस्तान क्या करेगा? टूट रहा है आपको लगता है?
Sir, it is right now not in a position to challenge India directly or through another country.
तो ये जो दंगा हो रहा है पूंछ में, ये क्या
Punj
है?
mein.
Yes, sir, there has been violence erupting at the border, and these events have continued despite the domestic situation of Pakistan. But when it comes to supporting another, supporting Bangladesh against India, I think India can play a major role because we are now
Supporting
emerging
Bangladesh
economy.
against India, you think Bangladesh is going to fight India? It'll take me 15 minutes to destroy their army. ये क्या वो मुंगेरी लाल के सपने होते हैं कि बांग्लादेश मुझ पे हमला करेगा. आपने
So I just also coming away, continuing in that.
Good to cut off. His uncle was going to be problematic, I feel like. I feel like he was going to say things that he shouldn't have said.
Policy.
आगे जाके.
You know.
Because इट्स नॉट अबाउट, देखो अभी तक ये बहुत मेरे ख्याल से तो बहुत बच्चों वाली सोचा कि वॉर इज वन और लॉस्ट. कौन जीतता है वॉर में? मैं दोबारा जरा फ्रेम में आके बोलता हूँ ये बात. कौन जीतता है वॉर में? वॉर में जीतना हारना कैसे डिसाइड होता है? जब अगली पार्टी के सब लोग मर जाए, एक इंसान भी जिंदा ना बचे, जब आप जीत जाते हो, उसको मेरे ख्याल से तो जेनोसाइड कहा जाता है. पर आपकी डिफरेंट डेफिनेशन होगी. और लाइक एट व्हाट पॉइंट लोग कहते हैं अफगानिस्तान में यूएस हार गया. यस, पर जीता भी. जितने सालों से वहां पे था वो जीत ही रहे थे ना. अगर हारे होते तो भाग चुके होते, पर जब आखिर में भागना पड़ा तो यू कैन क्लेम विक्ट्री नाउ. सो इट्स ऑल सब्जेक्टिव. वॉर हैज नो विनर्स एंड नो लूजर्स. इट नेवर विल, इट नेवर हैज, इट जस्ट डजंट. सो ये कहना कि मैं 15 मिनट में बांग्लादेश को हरा सकता हूँ, श्योर हरा सकते हो, पर उस 15 मिनट से पहले जो उसने आपके साथ किया वो भी आपको भी नुकसान तो हुआ ना उसमें. तो आप विनर कैसे हुए? राइट. बांग्लादेश ने अगर 2 छुपके से न्यूक्स कहीं से चुरा के रखे थे और वो उसने एक दिल्ली पे एक मुंबई पे फेंक दिया, आपके 2 सबसे बड़े शहर चले गए ना. अब 15 मिनट में आप उसको हरा दो, एनाइलेट कर दो, बांग्लादेश को रिमूव कर दो पूरे मैप से. वी वन. डिड यू विन दो? पीपल इन मुंबई एंड दिल्ली, दे डिडंट विन. राइट. और छोड़ो इतना बड़ा एक बिल्डिंग भी अगर उन्होंने गिरा दी तो उसमें जो 150 लोग मरे, दे डिडंट विन. सो इट्स जस्ट, एंड देन नंबर्स पे आ जाती है कि ओके उसने हमारे 100 मारे, हम उनके 10,000 मारेंगे. उससे भी क्या फर्क पड़ गया यार, 100 लोग तो चले गए ना. वो नहीं जाते, उनको रोका, उसको रोका जा सकता था. सो दैट्स माय आइडियोलॉजी अबाउट वॉर. वॉर में नो वन विंस, नो वन लूजेस. इट्स जस्ट एवरीबडी लूजेस.
Bangladesh is an important neighbor for us, and so are all the others. So what is it about, and which countries does it cover? Are you aware? What is it all about?
Yes, ma'am. India's neighborhood first policy and also the Gujarat doctrine, which was based along a similar spirit, says that with respect to certain countries like Maldives, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh, Nepal,
yeah.
India should forge good relationship so as to have better partners around, and it has continued to do.
Bhutan, Myanmar.
Yes, ma'am. Bhutan as well,
ये
ma'am.
म्यांमार.
गुजरात डॉक्ट्रिन का आपने जिक्र किया है.
Yes, sir.
सबसे ज्यादा नफरत विदेश सेवा में हम किस डॉक्ट्रिन से करते हैं? मालूम है? ये पागल था.
What?
I'm sorry to have to say this. I worked with the fellow. क्या मिला? पाकिस्तान में जितने मेरे I'm sorry to have to say, विदेश सेवा में हम किस डॉक्ट्रिन से करते हैं? मालूम है? ये पागल था.
कौन पागल था?
I'm sorry to have to say this. I worked with the fellow. क्या मिला? पाकिस्तान में जितने मेरे
Not even entered service.
No, let me tell you. ये जो तारीफ कर रहे हैं ना गुजरात डॉक्ट्रिन का रेफरेंस मत दीजिए.
Okay, sir.
हाँ, the
Talk
limited
about
point
India's
which-
neighborhood first
limited
policy.
point which sir is saying is Gujarat
Limit.
doctrine को आप मत mention
हिलाइए.
कीजिए.
Okay,
It is
sir.
not a very
जितने मेरे इंटेलिजेंस ऑपरेटिव्स थे फोन करके सारों के नाम दे दिए पाकिस्तान को. चुन चुन के मारा उनको और दाढ़ी को हिलाता वो ऐसे करता.
Morarji ने किया था.
Maraji did it for that Kahuta only.
He only did it for Kahuta. गुजरात gave to वो भवानी दास गुप्ता है जो भी इसका चमचा था. सबके नाम दे दिए. And they were all slaughtered.
Oh my God.
अब यूं गुजरात डॉक्ट्रिन करता था. उसका जिक्र मत करिए आप.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
देख तो हैवी भाई हिस्ट्री थी अंकल की के साथ. Holy crap, man. Like he literally personally lived that thing. Like it's not a story that he's heard of. ये इसका अपना experience है. This is some next level stuff, man.
Sir, noted.
Otherwise you're brilliant. Go ahead.
Last question. I'd just like to ask you.
Oh, bhai, this is
G20
personal for him.
Has just about culminated last year. They had the summit.
Yes, ma'am.
Briefly, what is the G20 and what was India's presidency all about, and what are the main takeaways? You can 2 or 3 main takeaways from that.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the theme?
Yes, ma'am.
She's like, yes, ma'am, yes,
the
ma'am.
theme
अच्छा
for
आंसर
India's
देना बाबा.
2023 presidency was One Earth, One Family, One Future. And in the spirit of Vasudev Kutumbakam.
She's literally getting
Ma'am,
distracted by them
G20
talking.
is basically coming together of the developed and the
professional.
developing nations to discuss the emerging issues that encompass environment, economy, geopolitics. And ma'am, India tried to via this presidency, it tried to put forward the view of the developing nations, be it with respect to the climate justice or with respect to how they should be compensated and how the developing nations should be accorded a better voice in other multilateral forums.
Voice of the Global South.
Yes, ma'am. Voice of the Global South.
And what, any other key takeaway from this summit?
Ma'am, also if we
AU
look...
was included. That's an important...
Sorry, ma'am?
The African Union.
Yes, ma'am. The African Union was included. Ma'am, if we talk about the event also, it was also a show of India's diplomatic efforts that have been
to
earning
find consensus.
Yes, ma'am.
in the
To forge
declaration.
consensus, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, just take a couple of them.
Yes, sir.
In this G20,
Yes, sir.
how much of the world's GDP and what percentage of the total exports are sort of represented under the G20 umbrella?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about the facts.
When you are giving an answer on G20,
Yes.
just keep these two figures in mind.
Okay, sir.
The G20 countries comprise together almost 85% of the world's GDP
Yes, sir.
and 75%
5%
of the
of
world's exports,
Yes, sir. I think 65 of the population.
etc. So, which is why these figures give a perspective. All right. Now I'll come to the questions. इसका तो आंसर के मुझे मार्क्स मिलने चाहिए, है ना? ये बताइए कि आप G20 में China abstained from attending a certain meeting, and Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey abstained from another venue. They attended all other meetings. They were represented in all other meetings. Why? What were those places?
Okay. So I'm not particularly aware about these events. So, but if I were to take a guess,
Please do.
then the Egypt and UAE, as you said, they abstained.
नहीं, UAE आया था,
yes, sir.
Egypt, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So it might have been Jammu and Kashmir.
Exactly.
Yes,
कश्मीर श्रीनगर की जो मीटिंग थी
Yes,
उसमें
sir.
इन लोगों ने abstain किया.
Yes, sir.
चाइना ने कहाँ से किया?
So it might have been a northeastern state or
एक ही हुई है, अरुणाचल में.
Arunachal. Yes, sir.
Absolutely correct answer on the dot. A quick one. ये जो पिछले कुछ दिनों से अज्ञात हमलावरों का हम बड़ा सुन रहे हैं, कनाडा में हो.
Yes, sir.
They are performing so well, अज्ञात हमलावर all over Pakistan. Right?
Performing so well, uncle थोड़ा हल्के आ जाए.
Somebody seems to have polished off Dawood Ibrahim also, but we don't know. Why can't Pakistan officially say कि
Uncle
भैया
के मुंह पे एक smirk है जो बता रही है कि he's a little cocky about it कि हम लोग सफाया कर रहे हैं, वो वाला सीन जो है.
why can't Pakistan officially say कि भैया उनका नमाज जनाजा है और ये हो रहा है and these are the last rites. They are neither confirming nor denying.
This feels like a very cheap attempt to like get some hype on your video or something. Yeah, because why are you being like such a puppoji about this? You know, it's and like, what is the point of this question? Okay, I'm curious about the answer she gives. Let's see the answer.
Dawood Ibrahim is alive.
Not reacting.
Not reacting at all. That's true. Why?
So I'm not sure whose last rites Pakistan.
Dawood
Dawood
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
So last I read that he was poisoned in jail.
Fair enough. Last rites तो होती हैं भाई. नमाज़े जनाज़ा
So
तो होता
I
है.
didn't know that he had passed away.
Okay, there's a lot of traffic in there
Okay.
saying that he has been poisoned and that he has passed away.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let them at least say कि भाई he was poisoned but he's okay. Or say that he was poisoned, he's passed away.
Yes, sir.
Or that he's yet to make up his mind. कुछ तो बोलेंगे.
So
Okay,
one
maybe
piece
context missing है मेरे लिए because I don't know पाकिस्तान का क्या stance है इस पे. I have no idea. I don't keep up with this stupid shit. तो मुझे नहीं पता कि पाकिस्तान क्या कह रहा है ऑफिशियली कि दाऊद इब्राहिम है नहीं है क्या है. But I think this is more like an inside joke जिसमें ना तो इस लड़की को पता है क्या बात हो रही है ना मुझे पता है क्या बात हो रही है. But apparently they obviously know more, so I guess.
I believe is that they're not saying then they will be called out on a global scale for supporting terrorism or those who have acted against India's interest.
That would be smart of
for
them to
which
not
India
own
has
it.
been demanding on a global scale that action should be brought, they should be brought to justice.
It's a very long answer to a very long explanation to a very short one.
Question.
They would have to first admit that he was under
Yes, sir.
in their
That's
country.
why. Yes, sir.
Just like Osama.
So far being denied
just like
that he
Osama.
ever existed.
He never existed in our country.
Yes, sir.
था ही नहीं
Right.
$10 million वाला item है ना. So that is the diplomatic nuance.
Okay, sir.
That's the reason.
Yes.
अच्छा, आपका नाम है
Wardah.
वर्दा खान.
Yes, sir.
Should it be Khan or Khanam?
So Khan is a popular surname among Muslims.
Like Shruti Singh. Should be Shruti Kaur.
Oh, he's
Not
talking about that.
necessarily,
Yeah.
sir.
I don't think Khanam मैंने कभी सुना है.
So the kaur is just used among the Sikhs. It literally means princesses.
सिखों की ही बात कर रहा
Yes,
हूँ.
sir.
That there are lots of girls who are writing Singh.
Gen Z पे context missing है. She has no idea.
More popular.
वर्दा का क्या मतलब होता है?
So Wardah means rose in Arabic.
Wardah. Okay, who brought rose water or rose essence to India? Who's credited with bringing? You know this?
So I'm not aware of.
Probably Arabs.
Noor Jahan's mother actually.
Oh,
but
really?
Noor Jahan brought it.
Very specific, but okay.
जो रोज का है. अच्छा, एक बहुत छोटा सा सवाल. हम लोग बॉर्डर, इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर,
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, बॉर्डर LOC LAC तीन लफ्ज़ों का अल्फाज का जिक्र करते हैं. क्यों? What is the difference?
Yes, sir. So LOC was agreed as the ceasefire line between India and Pakistan, pursuant to the Kargil War in 1999. And LAC was so basically, sir, LOC and LAC with respect to Pakistan.
99. It was
कारगिल
done.
की लड़ाई की बात कर रही है.
कारगिल की लड़ाई के बाद ना.
Yes, sir.
So LOC had been violated and refixed and all that. Please also give me the difference between border and LOC.
So LOC can be seen as a ceasefire line where the two countries had fought each other. So it was mutually decided that we will withdraw from this line. And
Okay.
border is rest of the land area that India shares with the neighboring country. So in my
So very
opinion,
simplified answer.
Carry on. And
You
why
got
is
out of it?
LAC differently named?
Ah,
You could have a line of control with China also,
that's a good question.
and or border with China.
so maybe to differentiate between the two.
No. It's not just
Sure.
about.
Sure, but like, why did
Not
they
just that.
name it like that?
So besides this, I'm not aware of the.
Please read up.
Sure, sir.
It's a very
Because strategically शायद दोनों का मकसद कुछ और है. दोनों के purposes और reasons. मेरा guess ही होगा. Strategic reasons की वजह से.
important.
It's important to name things correctly.
It's all right. I'm through. Thank you.
वो answer है, बताओ तो सही.
What is your optional subject?
Google से पूछना पड़ेगा. Line of actual control. As example, line of actual control refers to the demarcation. So, just by my limited understanding, it feels like that means for them के line of actual control, यानी कि असल problem यहाँ है, असल war जो है वो यहाँ है. This is the actual control we need to take to survive. Pakistan is not a survival issue. I mean, that was probably before we became like a nuclear power. Then it becomes a little bit more of a survival issue. But China is a real survival threat. That's a real existential threat for India, right? They have the power to end India, and India has the power to probably end China. So that's like the actual control that they. That's my guess. I don't know.
So sociology.
Sociology. ठीक है. Have you heard about a program Jal
अरे ये
Jeevan
भी
Mission?
बोलते हैं पवन भाई.
Jal Jeevan Mission.
Yes, sir. Jal Jeevan Mission.
What are the social implications of this mission, Jal Jeevan Mission? Social implications.
So, sir, can I take a minute to think about it?
Just robots, bro. They're all robots.
That talks about providing pipe drinking water
Output,
and
print.
an operational tap to every household. So it will help in providing socio-economic justice to our underprivileged citizens. And so it can be seen as some sort of cultural capital also, because when people are able to get the basic necessities, then they are equipped to direct their efficiencies towards education and other productive ventures.
Progress, i.e.
So in that sense, I think.
Do you think that this mission has also ensured water governance in India? Water governance.
Yes, sir.
How?
So in terms of information education, communication about saving of water and about watershed development, rainwater harvesting. So it has also about water use efficiency, it has been vocal about, and how it can be judiciously used, water in India.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, right. Do you think that we are in the age of some kind of surveillance capitalism? You must have heard about this term in sociology.
Oh, sync out ho gaya inka.
You must have heard about this term in sociology.
Yes, sir.
What exactly is this?
So this was given by new sociological theorist, postmodernist to be specific, sir, like Derrida and Foucault. They used to say that in the coming age, people will be controlled by creations of mass media, and these will have too much impact on the psychology of individuals, and these can also be taken control of by the political elite.
Ooh,
So I'm done.
which they have, which it is. Correctamente.
No, I'm out.
Kalas, we finished? Are we
Yeah.
through with the questions?
No.
You're very good.
Thank you, sir.
I'm King's English का मैं एक प्योरिस्ट हूँ. प्योरिस्ट
हाँ, we can tell.
अपनी भाषा से नंबर 2 पे पसंद है. मेरी तो अपनी मातृभाषा हिंदी है. So say develop.
Oof, the focus
It's
pull.
not developed.
The focus pull.
Yes.
Developed. बोलो.
Developed.
Thank you. Developing.
Yes.
So say developed. It's not developed.
Guilty, man. मेरा क्रिप्टोनाइट है ये वर्ड. ये हमारी एजुकेशन सिस्टम साली. मैं आज तक कभी कभार बात करते हैं गलती से डेवलप बोल देता हूँ when it's developed. So I appreciate him pointing that out too. I don't face trouble with many words in the English language. I can pretty much say any word, but then there are these easy words that fuck me up sometimes.
Developed.
Thank you. Developing.
Developed.
Not developing.
Yes, sir.
Say it.
Developing.
There you are. Excellent.
Yes.
This
Welcome
is really
to the
good for
public
you.
service.
He did you a service there.
गलती मत कीजिएगा, गलती भी मत कीजिएगा.
अब तो ये लोग
अब
nitpicking
समझ
कर रहे
गए
हैं.
आप?
In that case,
No, that's
you
nitpicking.
should be better. You have knowledge of Urdu?
Sir, spoken.
Just because her name is Wardah Khan, she should be. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
But I'm not very great at it like my parents.
Better than us.
गुलाब का फूल है बेटी हमारी.
Fool.
So,
All the best, Wardah.
Wardah, you will please step out for a while.
Yes,
Then
sir.
we'll call you back and give you our feedback.
Okay.
Right?
अभी देनी थी already इतना feedback. गलती बोलो. Oh, she wore a sari to the thing.
ले लेंगे.
Feedback.
आइए.
Walk a little more erect.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Don't stoop.
Yeah, no slouch.
बहुत छोटी हैं आप. क्या उम्र है आपकी?
So 24.
So you, may I be totally blunt? You are very good.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
Thank you,
You'll be an asset to whichever service you join. There are some other issues which my colleagues will mention,
sir.
but you were consistent, you're well behaved, you have very pleasing personality, very relaxed.
Thank you, sir.
भारत की बेटी हो.
Oof. आवाज में दम है अंकल.
मैम, after you.
Just that, you know, you're
Bharat ki
very
beti ho.
stiff.
Nice.
You're very stiff. If you're stiff, then, you know, it doesn't, you can't be yourself.
वही robotic जैसे मुझे
Relax.
लग रहा था शुरू से.
Hand
Yeah.
gesticulation
Be more
can
human.
be there. You can just relax and say whatever you have to say. It was all very
Writing it
well
down.
done.
Robot.
But you need to be just relaxed.
Okay.
And include everybody. You were not including everybody in your answer. Sometimes, once in a while, you're looking, but otherwise, whoever asked the question, you were focusing on them. So you need to include everybody. It's very important. And even as mentioned, you were slouching when you walked in, you were slouching when you walked out. You know, ऐसे करके गया. क्यों? आराम से जाइए जैसे
Body
normal
language
है.
matters, man. Yeah.
Don't be so nervous. If you're nervous, it can affect your performance. All right. And you can think, as you mentioned, may I take a moment? It's excellent. That's a very good thing to think before you speak, and you did it very well along the whole way. And why were you catching your stomach when you went out? Straight? I don't understand you just walk like this suddenly. So try and avoid that, otherwise very good. And I'm sure you will do very, very well. When is your interview?
Ma'am, 18 January.
18 Jan. So you have a little time, just all points which you said you don't know, just brush them up, just, and read the papers every day, and I'm sure you'll do well. So,
I'll add one more point.
Yes.
It's something among the Indian women. From their early childhood, they have been told to indirectly to be submissive and
Thandi ho ja, chup ho ja.
and that's the reason why ladies
Sehmi
in
rehti
general,
hai. Sehmi rehti hai.
ma'am is an exception, but they will be slightly slouched.
yes.
Right? Don't be.
He's
You are going to
I love
represent
this guy,
India
by
in
the way.
whichever service you choose.
Great energy.
And there
Inki.
you have to be, in Salman Khan's language, dabang.
Dabang
You have
three.
to be dabang.
For now, yes.
If this
He's actually a good man. Of course, what's the source? Nah, trust me, bro. Right? But कुछ लोगों की आंखों में kindness होती है, and I never think I've gotten it wrong. So he's one of those people. He's actually just a good man.
to be done, it has to be done. Right? And now that's the personality part. And only one more advice I'll give.
Yes, sir.
You see, you will not be able to score in the interview just because you are smiling and pleasing and this, that, and the other. You have to do well on the contents, and therefore
course.
read on the DAF subjects, whatever you have given in your DAF, the place you come from, the subject that you have chosen to graduate, your optional subject,
Yes, sir.
and current developments.
Yes, sir.
Current affairs में ही
इसको
थोड़ी पीछे
देख
थी.
के you have about 3 weeks plus time. Prepare well. We want to see you in the service.
Okay, sir.
इससे बड़ा आशीर्वाद क्या मिल सकता है?
Yes, sir.
I'll just add one more thing.
Yes, sir.
When you give an answer,
Yes, sir.
in your effort to be detailed and comprehensive,
Yes,
you tend to give a longish answer.
sir. I heard
And
that.
immediately right after the question is asked.
Yes, sir.
I have a small suggestion. Please practice it over the next week, 10 days. That after the question, you pause for a second or two.
अब ये अंकल को देखो, he seems like a very regular person, but
That
इतना
you're
खूनी
able
मुंह
to
अंकल का यार.
prioritize the most important part first, then the second and third, not more than 3 points, and take a max of 15 to 20 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Right? When you slow down in your delivery, you are also able to think about the next sentence
Yes, sir.
and which word to use.
Yeah.
Right? As the answer develops,
Yes, sir.
okay, you are able to think on your feet. And ultimately, there's a trick. If you mention towards the end of the answer, you can even lead the board into asking you the next question.
So I can give the bait.
रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं आप लोग?
जी.
Sorry.
जी.
I can give the bait.
Keeps walking around. इस तो एडिटर ने कट कर दिया, इन पे आ गए. Because look, he अभी enter होंगे frame में.
जी.
Sorry.
जी.
जी जी.
I can give the
What do you mean आप record? Did you not know कि recording हो रही है? There he is.
for
You
the
can give the bait. For example, आप गाजा पे बात कर रहे हैं तो आप वो करके आप टनल पे आ जाइए. अगर आपको टनल की नॉलेज है,
Okay, sir.
so you can use this.
Yes, sir.
But that's an art which will probably towards the end of your retirement as an IFS officer will help you very well. How you lead the discussion. So please practice it.
Yeah, practice now.
You're very, very good, but please practice this before a mirror among your peer group. Just do that.
Yes.
Okay?
What a strong
So
panel,
I know
man.
last point. I just
Panel
want to
made
say,
up of
your
strong individuals. Not
reflective
one has the guts to say
walking
genocide.
And reading non-fiction. There could be questions on anything in
Yes,
your
sir.
DAF. So just be prepared. What non-fiction? Why? And what is reflective walking, etc. And how you have to be able to
Yes.
speak on all these
Justify.
things. Be sure when you are on whatever's in your DAF.
Yes.
Yeah. All the best.
Simply, ma'am, she is wonderful.
Very good. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Modesty or honesty?
Thank you, sir.